Joy, Joy, Joy Taylor. Who knew? Who knew? Who could say? Joy, which we got two segments on her, but we're going to break it up. We're going to do the first segment now, and then we're going to go to Skip Bayless, and then we're going to come back to Joy because we got to make sure that we mind this out. We like to be thorough over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, and we don't want anybody that's sitting here telling us how they worked hard and they dedicated themselves. Don't worry, we'll get to it. So, I'll be reading super chats after this segment. All right. Joy Taylor, a lot of you may not know, is a woman that started a podcast called Too Personal. But before she did that, she was working with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. She was the referee, so to speak. She wound up transitioning and participating with Colin Cowherd, another sports analyst. And a lot of ladies may not be so familiar with her sports takes, and that's because it's trash. But guys have been calling out this trash culture. And the reason that I say that it's trash is because we spend so much time on diversity, equity, and inclusion that we think that women that are unqualified are supposed to be in men's spaces, and men hate it. They absolutely despise it, right? Men don't like the fact that we're so busy looking at women jumping into men's spaces, such as sports, when they're unqualified. Now, if you qualified and you know what you're talking about and you're great at entertainment, then cool. Make your bones and compete with the guys and be able to have that conversation. But ever since we start getting the Joy Taylors and Molly Kierim and you know them all. We're not going to name them all because this is not about them. We've always, as men, been questioning and saying, how did they end up in these spaces in the first place? What made her more qualified than this person, and what made this person more qualified than that person? Why is Joy Taylor, who, might I add, is a very nice looking woman and is great on the eyes, what made her get that position instead of that booger wolf over there? I'm gonna have the conversation a little bit differently because I know everybody is gonna be the political analyst, and because I have a large platform and I have a lot of visibility, that I'm supposed to be PC, but I'm no different than I was when we first started this channel when it had 10 subscribers. I talk the same. I monitor my words a little bit more because I know we got a bigger audience, and I know there's a lot of people watching this inside of the daycares and the churches and so on and so forth. So people have asked me, Anton, don't curse so much. I said, okay, I'm not gonna curse so much. We'll say that for after hours. But why did she get the position over the Booger Wolf? The Booger Wolf could have possibly had a better take. Maybe not so easy on the eyes. May have had a face for radio, but why is the Booger Wolf that has a better take than the Joy Taylors not on the screen? And now we have our answer. Maybe. Because I always like to say, just like I do for the men, and I have to have this conversation, it's innocent until proven guilty. An allegation is just that. It's an allegation. A lawsuit is just that. It's a lawsuit. But it doesn't mean that we should not mine it out in a court of public opinion to try to determine where we got to this point in the first place, right? Well, let's try to figure it out, okay? So this is a lawsuit that was filed on the 3rd of January 2025. So literally 3 days ago on Friday. On Friday, when we were ending the Millionaire Morning Show, this lawsuit was being filed in the county of Los Angeles, Superior Court of the state of California. And it names Fox Sports Corporation or Fox Corporation, Fox Sports Holdings, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, Fox Sports Production, Charlie Dixon, who was an executive vice president over at Fox Sports. He was the one that was controlling and telling everybody what to do. It also named Skip Bayless. We'll get to him later. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen this name. I said, what? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Joy Taylor? How did Joy Taylor become a defendant? I mean, when this thing hit my desk, I was thinking, oh, Skip Bayless is done. Never in a million years did I think that women would become the punching bags of 2025, but it's your year. It's your year. Last year, y'all went at Diddy, Jay, I want to see the same energy for Joy Taylor. But let's look at the allegations. And we're gonna deep dive. So we're gonna skip down a little bit because I've had an opportunity to be able to find the good parts. So it's a woman that was a hairstylist that came in, and I'll just give you the cliff notes really quickly. A woman that was a hairstylist, and she came in, and she basically was working on Fox Sports, and it was this big show that was coming, and it was named Undisputed, and Skip Bayless had the autonomy to be able to pick who he wanted to and run the show how he wanted to. There was another guy, and his name was Charlie Dixon. Charlie Dixon was an executive vice president over at Fox Sports, and he is one of the people that is being named along with the Fox conglomerate and Skip Bayless and Charlie Dixon. And in this whole thing, defendant Joy Taylor, who was a media personality and television host for Fox, and she co-hosts Speak. So she was just the person that lobbed the questions over to Skip and Shannon when Shannon was over there before he left. And she was a co-host. She wound up parlaying her way through her hard work over on Speak on FS1, according to this. But let's deep dive. It said at all relevant times, Miss Taylor was an agent of Fox and had the authority to make decisions impacting Miss Farahi, we're just gonna say Miss F, because we see students over here, employment. Upon information and belief, Miss Taylor is a resident of the state of California. Goes on to say, um, we're gonna skip down a little bit. All right. So she was hired to work at Fox, all of that stuff, right? Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Let's skip down. Where is it at? Her style and hair. All right. So this is the good part. This is where we started to get into it. Approximately March 2016, Miss F met Miss Taylor. Innocent enough, right? Two misses. Getting to the kisses, an aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles. So Joy was in Miami. Mm, mm, that makes sense. She looked like a Miami girl. Sun kissed. I'm with it. Moved to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Miss Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick and otherwise missed time. So basically, she was a substitute teacher. Okay. So this is what the lawsuit is saying. This is what the lawsuit is saying, that she was a substitute teacher. She would fill in when people were sick, trying to get her an opportunity, trying to figure it out. Okay. Miss Taylor told Miss F that she had recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami. First red flag, fellas. Okay, this is gonna be a highlight. Never let your chick be out here in these streets, in these Los Angeles and Miami streets by themselves, saying that I trust her. You trust her what? As far as you can throw her? Mm-mm. It said Miss Taylor was befriended by Miss F. Approximately May 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss F to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. Okay, cool enough. I need to familiarize you with what's going on. You recently hired in. You a hairstylist. Let's get to it. She found Miss Taylor with an older man. What? An older man? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. An older man and Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As an Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and productions on FS1. Miss F, however, she didn't know Mr. Dixon, so she just coming down with this guy, and we want to try to see who Mr. Dixon is, all right? Because we need visual references. Is no point in just having this conversation in a vacuum. We need to know who these people are, what these allegations are, so we can better understand what's going on. So let's say Charlie Dixon, Fox Sports VP. This is him. So let's start off by saying that, guys. Yeah, money talks, power, prestige, money. You don't even have to have straight teeth. You don't have to have straight teeth. The only thing that you got to have is the ability to You don't have to have any of that. The only thing that you have to have is the ability to change somebody's life, and that is enough. You know what they call these type of guys? Provider men. The ladies on TikTok are now calling these type of guys provider men. They say if he's not generous, ladies, then you don't want to be in his presence. And then the other ladies that be in the comments, they say, may this type of love find me. May this type of love find me. But here's the caveat. They saying that Charlie boy over here, and these are all allegations. This is just what's being alleged inside of the lawsuit. Charlie boy over here was busting down Joy, and he was married, but we gonna get there. This is what's being alleged. I can't say that it's true. I can't say that it's not true. The only thing I'm doing is giving you the visual reference for the lawsuit. Okay. So let's go back. Let's deep dive. So I just want y'all to know who y'all dealing with and what's going on. Let's get on back down. Let's get on back down. We got to get there. We got to get there. Um, Ms. Taylor told Miss F that she recently wed her husband and he remained in Miami. All right, cool. We got that part. She found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. But Miss F didn't know Mr. Dixon. And when Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Miss F asked, who is this guy? Who is this big dog that's over here buying us another round of spicy margaritas? And Miss Taylor, according to Miss F in the lawsuit, said that he was just, they say he's just a friend. And they say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. Following that night, whenever Miss F would meet Miss Taylor for drinks, Mr. Dixon would arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and then leave with Miss Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks. He said, ladies around me, they don't spend no money and or food. And from their body language, Miss F suspected that the pair was sleeping with each other. Although this concerned Miss F, as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married. Joy Taylor was married. We just gonna call her Joy Taylor, not Miss Taylor. Miss F kept her opinions to herself. I don't see nothing. In approximately June, same year from May to June, 2016, while at work, Miss F noticed Mr. Dixon in an elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss F found Joy Taylor and told her excitedly, this guy who always buys our drinks is in the elevator, girl. Girl, this guy just, executive vice president in the elevator. I don't know what to do. Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss F, explaining who he was. Miss F became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. So Joy Taylor, according to this lawsuit, told Miss F that Mr. Dixon was her daddy, her sugar daddy, her boo thing. You know what? We make it do what it do. This is what it is. And Miss F said, hey, Joy, this relationship is unsafe. It's not safe. It's not right. And Miss Taylor said, girl, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And they continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous and as well morally wrong as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon was both married. So this is going to hit a little bit different in the show, but we're going to get there. In approximately July, less than a month later, word spread amongst Fox's employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal. And it would star Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Joy Taylor, who was just a bartender and a radio host in Miami with very minimal TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. It goes on to say, Mr. Bayless, Skip Bayless, that is, who is also in his lawsuit, but we'll get to that shortly, disclosed that Miss F, later disclosed to Miss F that he didn't even want Joy Taylor on the show. That's what this is saying in part number 24. He didn't even want Joy on the show. But Mr. Dixon, who was the executive vice president, who she was allegedly sleeping with, was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. Listen, I insist. No, no, listen, Charlie. I don't like her. She's for the streets. And she don't know anything. She's dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, she looks good. She has some jugs on her, but maybe she'll be good for TV. But man, listen, Charlie, I know that we're friends. I know that we're friends. Skip. We just came from the hotel room. We had a conversation in my dressing room. I insist. If you my friend, you're gonna see this through, Skip. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Joy Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing, always using what you got to get what you want, just like Diamond said, and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion, because Skip wasn't tripping off of Joy for whatever reason. Maybe he just knew that Charlie had already hit it 80 times. Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him, and Mr. Bayless reluctantly agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. If this is not, if this is not the biggest form of capitalism in the world, let alone in the United States of America, I don't know what is. I don't even know why women are advocating to be equal with men. We can't be equal to y'all because y'all using what y'all got to get what y'all want. According to this lawsuit, y'all using what y'all got to get what you want. Unreal. When you see these women just so happen to be waitresses and they worked at Hooters or they were filling in time slots, I always start looking at it with a side eye like, you went from waitress to front and center on the TV, huh? You went from waitress to Congress member, huh? You went from hanging out at parties to vice president of the United States of America, huh? And I'm supposed to believe that? That's the story you telling me? Is no. You didn't use what you got to get what you wanted, even though everybody in town said that they hit it. You didn't use what you got to get what you wanted. You just did it the right way. Your story just resonated with the American people and you just went viral. Oh, God, yes. Meanwhile, men is over there slaving their butt off. Experts knowing what they got to do. Forget the men. You got a booger wolf over there that actually went and got $150,000 in student loan debt. It's a fact. You got a booger wolf over there that worked her tail off. Or you got a good hot 4.5, 5.3 on a scale of 1 to 10 that's over there working her butt off. She not ugly, but she just not as blessed as you. And all you got to do is bust it down for a real one. Yet we then have these women out here saying that they want equal. Equal to what? Oh, I work my way up. Work your way up what? Up his leg? You worked your way up his leg? Don't worry about it. We're going to get there. This is going to be a little bit of a longer show, so buckle in. Stay with me here. Around August, so right after July, August, Miss F attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband. So her husband just so happened to come up from Miami. Hey, guys, I'm here. What are you guys doing today? We going to dinner? Cool. Unsuspecting simp. And Mr. Dixon and his wife. So y'all gonna work together, huh? During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious. His antennas went up. That Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced her immediately. Mm, That's why when we see these women, we're like, man, how come she ain't got no man? Man, how come she ain't married? How come she can talk all of this stuff? Well, she was maybe according to this, approximately in September. Right after that, they messy. They was having straight up freak offs over there at Fox, huh? Undisputed started. Miss Taylor requested that she do her hair. Okay. So she was doing her hair. All right. Let's go. And Mr. Dixon, he was trying to get her Miss F too. Okay. All right. Anyways, because they're going to Miss Taylor, had her birthday party at Pearl's rooftop in West Hollywood. All right, we're going to get all of that. We're not going to go there right now. We want to go down a little bit further. All right? We want to go down a little bit further. We're going to come to Skip. We're going to come to Skip. All right. Let's go down to this one. Miss Taylor, you again, and this is a 48-page document. Don't worry, I read everything, so I know where to go and where to find it. Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on the show in approximately February 2020. So this is 4 years later. We don't know what happened in the gap between that. And I know that women can sleep with whoever they want to sleep with. I'm not trying to box shame you. But what I am saying is that you're using what you got to get what you want, and you're projecting like you just did it all just for the sake of it and you were a good person. Miss Taylor asked Miss F to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. So Miss F is out here hanging around in these streets, huh? She found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Ocho. All right, well, let's go ahead and get another visual reference while we at it. I want you guys, because there's a lot of people that may not be familiar with sports. This is Emmanuel Ocho, former Philadelphia Eagle, and he was also on Fox Sports on a new show called Speak that was coming out. All right, this is him here. Emmanuel Ocho, the complete opposite of Charlie Dixon, but I guess everybody can get it. You got it, I got it. What difference do it make? Don't matter who you are. All you got to do is have a little bit of clout, because we got to make sure, according to the lawsuit, that Miss Taylor get what she wants. So she found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Ocho. Miss F did not know Ocho. I'm sorry, not Ocho, Ocho. I want to make sure that we separate that, because it ain't Ocho Cinco. It's Emmanuel Ocho. But could tell the two were romantically involved. So you up here loving on her, hugging on her. A few months after meeting Mr. Acho at the lunch, Miss F noticed him in a hallway while at work. Miss F later asked Miss Taylor, Joy that is, if Mr. Acho also worked at Fox. And Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Acho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. So this is wild. This is wild. This is wild. And the reason why it is wild, ladies and gentlemen, is because I no longer ever want to hear that you guys are just working your butt off and you get into it and you're taking care of business. And people like Joy Taylor, if this lawsuit is true, is making y'all look horrible, making y'all look like vagabonds, making y'all look like y'all for the streets. But then y'all sit on here and tell us, you know what, I'm doing so good. I'm taking care of business. I'm on top of things. I'm really, really dedicating myself to what? To what? Goes on to say she wanted her to recommend her. Miss F became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man. This is Mr. Dixon, Mr. Acho. All right. Very powerful man that may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her, Girl, don't worry about that. And this is her play. Check it out, y'all. This is her play. She explained that she is also now powerful. And once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her, and she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. In approximately September of 2022, Miss Taylor started to work on Speak, and then she requested Miss F to do her hair. Let me read this sentence again. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced herself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out like by Mr. Dixon like other women talent. Let's set that right there. Let's set that right there. This is not a conversation about whether or not you did like Diamond and used what you got to get what you want at this point. This is not that. This is the reason why I say that I don't by default, and I've been consistent on this, despite y'all evil comments, despite y'all coming at me. I tell y'all all the time that I stand on my square and I'm right about this. I stand on my square and I'm right about this. I stand on my square and I'm right about this, and y'all sit there and say, no, Anton, if a woman says it and she me too's and she just automatically make allegations, then this is the thing that you're supposed to believe. If this be true, how easy is it for a woman to make an accusation against a man premeditated to save herself and or leverage the visibility to create more opportunity for herself? The part that I got a problem with ain't even the fact that Joy Taylor is allegedly for the streets. I don't care. This has been going on since the beginning of time. We've always know that a pretty face and a similarly small waist will get you far. The problem in the culture is that y'all keep trying to pretend like women is not busting it down for a real one and then coming back and then using the same reasoning to get themselves ahead when it then becomes a shitstorm and then go on and then accuse a man of something that he didn't do on a regular basis. Now, if this lawsuit had never came out, and let's say, for example, that Joy Taylor at some point had hypothetically went off and accused this guy, you know what y'all would have did? Y'all would have threw him under the bus. You would have said burn him at the stake. You would have said it's another white man using his privilege and his power to take advantage of another woman. Woe is me. And you know why it's embarrassing to women is that it actually messes it up for the women that actually have real things done to them against their will. And it then should have those guys really be held accountable. It messes it up for the people that have legitimate claims because we don't believe any of y'all now. We don't believe by default any of y'all now. It messes it up. And again, there should not be one disagreement inside of this chat from a woman or a simp. It should not be one disagreement in this chat with me. Don't say I'm misogynistic. Don't say I'm always on men's side. I'm not. I believe that if you had something done to you, you was raped, something bad happened to you, then the person should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law, not just in a lawsuit. They should really be prosecuted. I don't stand for anything somebody doing anything to anybody against their will. But I think that it should be equally prosecuted. And the person that accuses somebody of doing something that they didn't do, they should get the sentence that the person would have gotten because it is evil, is disrespectful, and women are leveraging it and have been doing so since the beginning of time. They are using it as a power play against guys when they no longer serve a purpose in their life. And guys, I am telling you, let's move on to the next part of the show. Guys, I am telling you that you need to have a level of de-discipline. And it ain't even about de-discipline, honestly, because anybody can be accused of anything, even if you never got the box. Anybody can be accused of anything, even if you never got the box. It has become that dangerous out here. Ladies, if y'all are not holding Joy Taylor accountable, and I see over 6,000 people in here right now, and we're going to continue to run it up. If y'all are not holding Joy Taylor and the women like them accountable, expect to be disrespected and never believed if people then even have a legitimate claim because we don't know which side you stand on. If you just willing to just roll with them just because she a woman and she not actually doing the worst to you, she's the worst for you, and that this culture has become so toxic to where men have now become the punching bags and a laughing stock, and women are not to be respected at all because you guys just support anything and anybody. If this be true, I don't know what to tell y'all. We can't protect y'all. I cannot be a part of something where somebody goes to jail or lose their job or their ability to take care of their family because of a false accusation. I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of that. I don't tell people how to live their life. I make a suggestion based off of what I think is best for you. But I don't, and I've been consistent on this. I do not believe in removing your humanity, and I don't believe in removing your ability to take care of your family. I've been consistent on that. So you may disagree with me on a lot of things, but you cannot say that I have not been consistent and me respecting your humanity. You may live your life however you want to. I don't believe in censorship. I don't believe in removing your humanity, and I don't believe in removing your ability to take care of your family. Any one of those things is broken in the culture and society. We all broken because now everything is out of whack.